a few of us have just been around the table talking specifically about the risks to women's jobs coming down the line through displacement, particularly around automations and AI. Olivia is here from the City of London Corporation, who has run a task force up there around this particular subject. And yeah, thank you to everyone who contributed to that conversation. I think we had a really good, really healthy debate about what it looks like from a regional perspective here in the Southwest. And then later on today, I'm going to be talking about Cosmic's work in an employment space. So I'll work on skilling people specifically around the essential digital skills set in order that they move into work. And the headline is that we ran a evidence-based pilot across the winter that showed that with the 25 essential digital skills, people are twice as likely to get a job outcome as compared to the control group, which was doing an employability program anyway. You know, they were on that stream and we took the other stream. So please come along to that later. Great to be a part of the event today. Well done to Dan and TEC Southwest.
We are a non-profit organisation. We've been predominantly in Cornwall for the last 5 years. We are coming into other areas of the far southwest. And we work to try to help women and girls move into the places around technology, engineering and creative skills, and then finding the spaces for them to work in those areas. But I wanted to talk to you today about AI. I'm guessing, I asked this yesterday at a manufacturing conference. I'm looking for a different response probably here today. How many of you using AI in your jobs? Yeah, cool. Are you guys aware that young people are also using AI at the same level? So 91% of young people are already using AI. How do we know this? If you look at other statistics, they won't say that, by the way. They say about 60%. We didn't believe them. We did our own research and we asked over 580 Year 9 students from different schools, not in London. We asked them from schools in our local areas, are they using AI? And they are. This is what's formed our new TEC Girls Attitudes Report that I wanted to share with you guys today. We do have actual paper copies of it on our stand, but I will give you a QR code to scan at the end. And in it, we really wanted to know not only are they using AI, but how are they using AI, what are they using it for, and how do they feel about it. So we found out that one really wonderful fact is they're using it equally across both genders. This is different from what we're seeing within the workplace. We're also seeing though that 80% are using it at home. They're not using it at school, which means they're often using it unsupervised. We're also seeing that they're using it to do their homework and that they believe they should be allowed to use it in school. Their teachers are, why not? This is what they're using. So Julie made a really good point earlier and I rapidly added this slide in. This is what they think AI looks like. I find that very interesting considering Claude is the one with actual supposed safeguards in place. That's slightly terrifying. They're using AI, but are they using it well and how do they feel about it? 87% think it's going to affect their careers. They're switched on, they're aware, they've read the news or watched it on TikTok. Boys are more likely to believe, 3 times more likely to believe it's going to be used for good. Less than 9% of girls think it will be used for good. Also, over 0.5% or 54% of girls don't really know what it's going to do, but they know it's going to do something. This is really a little bit terrifying if you've got kids. 30% have seen AI being used to create something harmful. Maybe that's why girls don't like it. 32% have lied about using it. That would explain the data we've seen from other reports. They're using it, they just didn't tell anyone. So we have a generation of young people already using AI, but they're not necessarily using it well. They do actually want support, training, and opportunity to learn how to use it well. They're lying about it because they don't think they're allowed to. They would like permission to be able to use it and they would like instruction. 35% said they would only like to use it in school if they can do it with guidance and support. So, in order for us to have this workforce for tomorrow in lots of different industries, not just in tech, we don't need AI users. We need young people who know how to use AI well. And we need to give a chance for young people across the whole Southwest to learn how to do that, so they're not left behind some of the other areas that are catching up with this. So how are we doing that? What are we doing at TEC Girls? Well, we love the fact that girls are adopting AI at the same rate as boys, and that's something that we want to see if there's a way that we can build on that. So we are creating a series of workforce pathways where we're talking about ethics and citizenship. We are talking about using it in engineering with sensors and machine learning. And we have been running a Cyber Guardians program for the past 2 years, teaching primary school students how to work in cybersecurity. They like to report people on roadblocks. Cool. Start in primary school, go to work experience. We go all the way through, we can tell you more about it. I would like to end on this point. If we don't intervene, there is a very real risk that young people will outsource their intelligence to AI. We do not want them to lose the ability to have critical thinking. We need to teach them how to use AI well, or they will all turn into idiots. Tomorrow's workforce is in our primary school. Let's help them to be the amazing people we know they can be in the future. I promised you the report. That's where you can find out more information. Thank you very much. I'll start and pass over. I mean, the one thing I would say is talk to primary school students. They don't know you exist. They've heard of the big tech companies because they've seen them on TV or something like that, but they have absolutely no idea about the supply chain, for example. They don't know about these jobs. When you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they will say a lawyer, a doctor, a firefighter, a hairdresser, a builder, because they've heard of those jobs. They haven't heard of your job. So the more you can do to tell primary schools that you exist, that you are in the Southwest, that you hire, that they're great jobs, they don't have to move away, then they'll grow up knowing that. But it also means they'll think about that job. They're saying all of those jobs because they know somebody on the high street that does that job. They're not wanting to work in tech because they don't think it's a local job. So it's two parts. One, it's about making sure that they know it's there so they don't leave. But first of all, this mass of people, of young people learning tech that are going to go away, we don't see that. They're not studying technology. We've got the colleges saying to us, we have no kids going into digital courses because they don't know that the jobs exist. So it's actually even worse than us having this amazing mass of talent that's leaving the county. We have no amazing mass of talent because they don't know that there's.
Career, but today I do have permission of the Somerset Chamber to be here, and I'm representing the British Chamber of Commerce South West. So I'm actually the CEO of Devon in terms of that piece, and one of my fractional jobs is I do actually have a company called South West Area Solutions, and I have another one called Wolfbridge, and various other ones as well. So I'm a SME owner as well in terms of what that is. We are a land of SMEs, okay, the peninsula's full of them. Across the 4 counties, about 98% of everyone who is employed is working for a company with less than 50 people. Okay? For those of us who run businesses, that is a certain way of working. AIs will not replace most SMEs, I don't believe it will, but the SMEs that adopt AI will replace the SMEs that don't. So this is about competitive advantage, and it's in our interest as an area to make sure that we bring the long tail with us and get as many people using this technology as possible, so it's worth the effort. Why is it so hard to get customers to adopt? 3 barriers: skills, confidence and capital. The key insight is that these are behavioural, not technical issues. So when you're selling stuff, this is the big emotional moment, okay? It requires you to empathetically work out what to do with these people and work out how you're going to manage those pieces. What worries me is where they are getting help, okay? So I see a lot of consultants in this space who are not players in the SME market. So they don't understand what they're dealing with. I see a lot of accountants, which scares the living daylights out of me, also now advising what you should do in terms of AI solutions. They're not qualified to do that. There are some government-backed schemes, which are great, but they don't necessarily play to the smaller end of the market, okay? So that's where they're getting their information from. That's not helpful, okay? It's why we want to do things like drive people to come and talk to people like you so they can start to make those changes. What SMEs need is they don't need to talk about machine learning or large language models or agentic architecture, sexy and wonderful though it is, as we all love it.
Yes.
What they want to talk about is, unfortunately, fewer administrative hours, more sales, better customer services, fewer mistakes, reduced cost. They want to have AI as a co-worker, reducing the busy work first instance, and then augmenting what they do in their businesses thereafter. And they need to do it in a linear way so they can adopt and understand what that technology does for them, and then they can iterate into that space.